My name is Caleb Cole. I'm a visual and performing artist here in Boston. A lot of my work starts with photography or relates to photography in some way, but then branches out into what it ends up looking like afterwards. It can still be photography, it can be sculpture, it can be collage. All of my work starts with collecting in some respect, either collecting clothing that I find at thrift stores and then put on and photograph myself, or finding snapshots or books with handwriting inside, or just these little objects that people have surrounded themselves with but no longer need. Taking those objects and transforming them or using them in some way in my work. I want to talk about this postcard, this real photo postcard. On the back, it says Saturday, May 19th, 1917. So it's almost 100 years old. First, I was really drawn to this portrait of this man on the front. He has this expression and this body language that's really hard to decipher. It's sort of stiff and it looks kind of stern, and it's hard to tell what he's thinking. But then you read, there's just one sentence on the back: "I hope to hear you repeat those words again," which in my mind is this really lovely and tender sentence, and then juxtaposed with maybe how he looks on the front, then suddenly we recontextualize his expression, his gesture. I imagine an entire interior world for him, like of longing and desire and connection with someone else. It combines the two things that I'm usually most drawn to, primarily portraits of men, and men especially that in some way reveal some sort of vulnerability, which I feel like we still don't see often enough. I collect a lot of these photos of men thinking about like what clues are there about how these men figured out their sense of self or formed their identity as men, and how they figured out how they fit in the world. So it combines that with this handwritten message. I collect a lot of books with handwriting inside, or just like photos with handwriting along the back. Although I love to pull it out and look at it, I want to use it for something. It fits so perfectly in with the rest of the work that I make, but it's really difficult. It's two-sided. There's these two pieces to the puzzle. It's also so perfect exactly as it is. I don't think it calls for transformation, so it's like a thing that I need to own and keep. I think a lot about failure or desires when we have these things that we want and we for some reason can't have them. How do we deal with that? How do we deal with not having those things that we want? So the fact that there's no stamp on the back makes me think a lot about, did he get to hear those words again? Did he get to have the thing that he wanted?